Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Articulate Training webinar. Today, we're looking at recent features and updates for over the last 3 months, this third quarter of the year. My name's Dave Anderson. I will be your host today. I guess I should be previewing this, not just looking at it here in the edit mode. So here's our title screen, and here's some contact info for me. Feel free to reach out to me on, I didn't have a Twitter logo. It's now X, I guess, but you can send me an email. You can find me on LinkedIn and, of course, X, which still sounds really weird to say, but just some basic contact info for me. Real quick, a couple things before we get started. Today's session, as always, we are recording today's session. There is a resource page, it's kind of a Rise micro learning course for today's session. Just has links to everything I'm showing today. So if there's any features that you've missed or that you're interested in learning more about, you can find those here in this resource page. Now, when the recording is finished, when the session's finished and we post the recording, I'll add the recording to this page. So you'll find the recording at the top of this lesson, but we'll have that for you tomorrow. I'll get that updated later today, but the email link and follow-up will go out tomorrow. Also, if there are questions, which I'm sure I have got a couple folks helping me out today in the back channel. They'll be here to answer your questions, so feel free to post any questions. There's a lot of folks here today. If we don't get to your question, and it's possible, just please follow up with us in the forums. We'll be more than happy to get you the answers you need. There's 2 people helping out answering questions, but I have a feeling there's going to be quite a bit. So just jump in the community and repost your question, and we'll follow up with you there. And then finally, sometimes audio or video. We're working in Zoom today, so we don't usually see as many issues like we do with our usual platform, GoToWebinar. But if anything happens, just try logging out and logging back in. But after 1 or 2 tries, please don't lose your time. Just jump back. Just wait for the recording, and we'll get that to you. I don't want you to lose your time with any connection issues trying to join today's session. It's being recorded, and you'll have a copy of that. All right. So with that, what are we looking at today? Well, we're just going to go through the products. We're going to begin with Rise. Last time I think I did this, I started with Storyline, but we have a couple of really neat feature dropping tomorrow. So I'm just going to show you a preview of it. You don't have access to it today, but you will have it tomorrow for Rise. And then we'll go through Storyline review, some updates to Content Library, Reach 360, and then wrapping it up, just talk about what's next, what you can look for, and where you can even find new features that are coming that are not yet available today on our roadmap page. All right, so with that, let's go ahead, and I'm going to jump into Rise 360. So I need to get out of here and get into Rise. Well, this is what your Rise dashboard looks like today, but I need to go to a different location. This is what you'll see tomorrow in the updated Rise dashboard. So a couple new features here. Again, this isn't available for you today, but this will be tomorrow. And there's 2 big updates here I want to highlight. First is the updated dashboard here for Rise. So you're going to see this looks a little bit different. And then we also have team folders. So if you ever worked in team folders in Review, then you already know how easy this is going to be to make your collaboration and sharing content with other team members. So you can now do this, or you will be able to do this with Rise beginning tomorrow. So let's just talk about the new dashboard real quick. This new updated dashboard. When we launch the team folders tomorrow, you'll see this new dashboard, and in it, you'll see that it looks similar but different, right? If we kind of toggle between the 2, you can see there's some updates. You have the concept of folders. So now you can place your projects in folders. So you can create new folders, and we'll just call this one, let's say this one is client demos. Save it. And now I have a new folder. Now there's nothing in here at the moment, but we can go and add content to it. So I can just come back and move back to my personal, and then let's say common workplace issues, I can move this. So clicking the little ellipse, the 3 dots up here, I can move that now to a new folder, just expand my personal folder, and then here we go, client demos, and move. So this moving files to folders, right? We've seen that before. We have the folder management in Rise on the side, right? But now we can nest our folders, and we can also have access to them from the dashboard, which makes them a lot easier to quickly access. Now, one feature that I really like in this new dashboard is this concept of bookmarks. So when Team Folder launches, again, this is tomorrow with the team folders, you'll also be able to bookmark any specific courses for quick and easy access. So you can see over here on the left, I've got a bookmark. So this is going to be included in your dashboard. I can click this to look at any courses that are currently bookmarked. And you can see I have 3 courses currently bookmarked. If I want to modify or manage how these bookmarks are listed, I can just click, again, the little ellipse, and I can remove this from the bookmarks. I can show where this file is located in the original location. I can also move this to a different folder. So we have a lot of management options, enhancements here from the new dashboard. I'm going to pop back into my personal all files. If I want to add another course to the bookmarks, I can just click any one of the courses. This one's already in the bookmark, so you can see one down here, it says remove from bookmarks. That's how I can get that out of there. Let's see, is this one in the bookmarks? That's in the bookmarks. Are they all in the bookmarks? Nope, this one isn't. So for receiving feedback, I just click add to bookmarks, and now it's in my bookmarks. This, to me, is going to be one of the biggest workflow enhancements because you're working on several courses at once, right? You may have dozens or more of your courses in your library, but when you are working on projects, there's usually several, however many you work on. I work on around 3 or 4 at a time. And from there, it'd be nice just to be able to quickly access these regardless of how deep they are in the folder structure. So this is probably where I will spend all of my working time, just managing the current courses and projects that I'm working on. Okay, so let's look at the team folders option. Now, this is huge, right? So if you've worked with Review 360, then you know how the team folders works. Well, it's going to work very similar in Rise. So when you create the content, any new content in Rise 360, it's going to be added to the section or folder that you're currently selected. So right now, I'm in my bookmarks. If I came into client demos and I created a new course, it would be added right here to the same folder. However, any content you create in a team folder will automatically inherit the collaborator permission. So we'll look at that. We'll look at that now. So I'm going to come into the team folder. You can see that down over here, and you can see that there are several test folders here for us. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to call it the Articulate User Event because I am working on that User Event 2023. So that's coming up here later this month. Click Save. And so right now, it's just me as the folder owner. I'll come right back to this. We'll look at this in a moment for adding additional collaborators. So I'm going to click Save. And so here's my folder right here. So when I open this folder, I don't have any content yet in this, but I'll just create a quick test course here. We'll just say micro-learning, and we'll just say it's a blank. Now, I already have this project elsewhere, so we'll say Articulate. I'm just going to add a quick course, Ulate User Event 2023. Okay, and then with that, we will just add some text, and that'll be enough. Okay, so now there is a course in my team folders. Come back to Team, Articulate User Event, and then here's the current event. So I have the same options here for publishing the course, sending a copy, and sharing it. Now, if I want to invite folks to access this course, I can click the ellipse up here for my folder share settings, and I can begin adding any users. So when I add collaborators, any items that I've invited them to will automatically move that course to the team director automatically. But because the content's added to the team folder, it only means that the members that I've added as editors can manage or see it. So it's in the team folder, but the folder permissions still apply, and whoever you've invited as collaborators, either they're folder owners or editors, they're the only ones who are going to be able to see that content. So I'll just get Tom in here, bring him in, and I can move him as an editor or manager. So one thing you might notice here is that we've changed the title from collaborator. This is usually collaborator or manager. We've changed it to editor, which then also aligns with how we match the terminology in the Review 360 folder. So any existing permissions also apply, but they'll also apply to Review when we publish this to Review. So I'll keep him as he's my manager, so I better make him a manager. Click Save. And now he can access these courses. I don't need to share this course directly with him. And any other courses I begin adding in here are all going to give him the same permissions, because the folder share settings list him or others as either an editor or the manager. So this is going to make working and collaborating a lot easier, because you don't have to manage course access permissions on a course by course basis. The team folders will automatically grant those permissions based on whatever permission settings you set for the folder. All right, there's a lot more we can do with this. This is dropping tomorrow, so you'll have access to this. You'll see the update again today. This is what your dashboard looks like, and then you'll see the enhanced updated dashboard tomorrow. Bookmarks going to make your daily workflow a lot easier. You have the concept now of nested folders for both your personal as well as team. And then, of course, the team folders, a fantastic way to manage your different permissions and how you can share those with the rest of your team or specific collaborators. Okay, so with that, let's jump back into Rise. But this time, I want to look at something that you already have access to today, and that is the integrated comments within Rise. So once you've published your content to Review 360, you can now reply to and resolve comments directly in Rise. So I'm going to pull open this course right here, and if you look up here at the top, you can see the little comment icon. Now, if you don't see that, it means that your course hasn't yet been published to Review 360. However, once you publish at least once to Review 360, you'll now see this little icon, which means that you can now reply to and resolve comments directly in Rise. So if I pop this open, I can see some comments added a couple months ago. Folks are making some suggestions for adding some text or adding some images to the course. So let's just go through this real quick. First thing that I like so much here is notice where the comment is, where Tom's posting right here, I think, for the images and so on. Right up here is the actual lesson name. So what's so helpful here is that I can click the Why Accessibility Matters, and that's going to jump to this specific point in my text, and I can quickly address any issues or comments for this particular session. I don't have to search for this. I have to know where all this content is. Maybe you have multiple people working on the course, and they're not even that familiar with all of the different lessons. Being able to click the access link here and jump to that particular lesson or part of the lesson is so easy, right? So here's the welcome, which is going to jump me a little bit back toward the front. And so there's something about polling questions, and there's a little screenshot here. Now, what's this? Well, you can add screenshots, right? We can attach files and images and attachments here. But if there's a screenshot, I can pop this open, take a look at it. Okay, that looks cool. And click that and view. Sorry, I don't mean to keep clicking on that. I can click a larger view of the screenshot. However, if I come down here, there's a image added at the very bottom. If you attach an image, I can click the little plus sign. There's a little plus icon right here. And notice that when I do this, I get this little arrow off to the side. I can automatically add this arrow, the arrow. I don't want the arrow. I want the image. I can add the image immediately as an image block. So your customers, your collaborators, your reviewers, your content experts, anyone reviewing the course, if they have a better image suggestion, they have a better idea for a graphic, and they have maybe it's a graphic or image that they use in their own training, or maybe it is a legal image, they can upload that image, and you can quickly pop that directly into Rise, into a lesson block. And then once the course is here, we can obviously change the different styling of the image or move that image up or down as needed. But that image can be quickly added as an image block. Obviously, the big benefit here is that it saves you the time of having to go and source those graphics or maybe try a different graphic. If your reviewer has an idea for or has an image that they want to use, there you go. It's added right there. Along with that, we can also post additional comments within Rise. So again, just to be sure real quick here, I'm in Rise, I'm not in Review, and I can toggle these comments on and off, but I'm working here directly within Rise. Like if I jump down here to a different section and I wanted to add my own comment, I can add my comments here. Let's replace header graphic, right, with an illustration. So I'm adding directly to review from within Rise. I could also resolve any comments in here. So you can see the resolve option. I can resolve the one I just posted. I can delete that comment. I can go back and edit it. And again, if I were to view this in review, all of the same comments and feedback for each of the lessons is also provided. Now, because this is still in beta, this is available today, but it's still in beta. You can see a little up here, there's a beta feedback link. We really welcome your feedback on this. How's this working for you? What would you like to see? Any issues that you've encountered? Just click the link and fill out the form and let us know. So you have access immediately to submit any beta feedback that you have for this feature. We've had this out for a couple months now, and the response has been great, but there's also been a lot of great suggestions and ideas for enhancing. So again, if you don't see this option, it's just because you haven't yet posted to review, right? So you need to click the review and either, well, I've already published it, but you would click review. If I have a different course in here, let's see what I have here. Just create a new quick one right here. So we just see, say, a blank course and test integrated. And so we just need at least one lesson title, intro, and then we'll add some just simple content. So what you need is just at least a course published. So I don't see that icon up here. There's nothing here. I come up to review. And again, create a new item, or I could override a different existing item. Click publish. This will take just a moment. And then once I've published at least once, I don't need to see it in review. I'll go back to the course and look at that. Voila, there's my integrated comments icon, and I can begin adding comments. And just as always, you'd share the link to the Rise course, bring in collaborators, or share the review link, which is what I'm sharing here, and then folks can begin adding their comments to the project. So fantastic way to streamline collaboration, and also for me, the one of the big things is just letting my customers or the people reviewing my course add their own images to include in the project. Sometimes that could be that's just a time tiger, right? You're trying to find the right graphic, and then when folks can just find that image for you and then include it, and then you can just immediately add it to your project. And then finally, I can't even emphasize this enough, the ability to quickly jump to that specific lesson and then find that where that comment is what that comment's referring to, and then quickly add and update those sections. So that's the integrated comments in Review 360. All right, with that, let's switching gears now, and we'll jump into Storyline and take a look at what's new in Storyline. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to pause my screen here. Well, I don't see how to pause it, but we've got Storyline open anyway. So here we go. So Storyline. So we're going to look at two features. One you have access today, and just like what with Rise 360, one feature you'll get tomorrow. So a little sneak peek here at what's coming. And again, you'll have that tomorrow. So the two things we're going to look at is the integrated comments. So very similar to how it worked in Rise. And a new feature that a lot of folks have been asking about for a while, and that is cloud backups. You'll automatically be able to back up your Storyline projects to review. So here's how they both work. I'm working on this project right here. I haven't yet published this to review. So what I first want to do is publish this. I'm just going to get this into Review 360. And the reason I want to publish this to Review 360 first is just like with Rise, I can't access the comments until this course at least exists in Rise. So I can't access comments, right? I can't review the course until the course is at least in review. So we need to publish it to Review 360. And along the way, you'll see right down here, what's this? Oh, upload a project file to Review 360. So I'm going to check that as well, and I'll talk through that as well, so what you can look for there. So I need to get the course in review, and then we'll see a little updated panel right here. So I'm going to click Publish, and that'll just take a moment. It's not a very large file. Yeah, so a lot of questions already coming in on the cloud backup. We're gonna cover that, but yeah, essentially, if you choose to include your project file with the publish to review, you'll be able to access your Storyline project files really anywhere that you can access Rise. So if you're at a different computer, different locations, or in a lot of cases, you need to grab that backup. Okay, so we'll click View Project and just pop that open. So not only has the course been published to review, but I'll have access to my source file. So you click the little ellipse right here, three little buttons right here, and now I can download the project file. So it's going to download the entire project file for either backup or archive purposes. What's really neat here is every time you repost to review and you have your different versions, that current version of the file will be included with the version. So let's talk through a little bit about how this is all working. So I'm going to go back into Storyline, and we come back in and we'll say publish. We have to review right here. And so we uploaded the project file to review. So each time that we publish a new project or a new version to review, that file is going to be included. Now, one thing to think about or to know about in terms of just how this works, if let's say that you didn't publish the entire project, maybe you just published an entire scene of your project, and that's what you're published to review. When you upload, if that's what you're publishing, the entire file is still going to be included, not just that particular scene. You know, we had a lot of good conversation about how that could work or should work, but overwhelming consensus was that whole project file should still be included if it's being backed up, right? So rather than just having a scene and yet the whole file could still be lost, you want access to that entire file. Now, also keep in mind that it's just the only thing that's in review, the only person who can access that source file is you. So even if you invite collaborators or you share this out for feedback, this file is not going to be seen by anyone but you. This is specific to you as the course author. So you don't automatically make the course file available to anyone who's viewing review right there. So if I make any changes to this and I were to go through this whole process again, let's say I made some modifications, deleted a scene. When I got into a review for the current backup, whatever that current backup is, that's what's going to be reflected in the file. So you could also, have review has multiple versions. You could always jump back and download a previous version of your file. So it's really fantastic. You have a backup of that. Always have available. If you worst case scenario, your computer crashes, anything happens, right? It's multimedia. Anything's possible. All right. So with that, let's look at the other feature which you have available today. It's still in beta, but it's available to you, and that is the integrated comments with review. So after I publish this to review, you'll notice that I've got this extra little panel right here for comments. So now I can access and view the comments for the project. So to view the comments, I can click in this panel to expand it. Now I just published it here, so I don't have any comments right now. So I would have to go back into review to look at those. But I can see that as I go through each of the slides, if I let's just say I drill down into this one particular slide, you can see I've got any comments down here. So let's do this. I have another browser open for this project. I just have to look and see which, okay, I can see which account I'm in right now. I've got a couple accounts because some of this was in beta, some of this was available, but I want to make sure that I can still see this. So give me 1 second. I'm just pulling this open here. Okay, so I have it open in a new slide. So I'm going to jump into the process. Let's say update this image. I don't even know if there's an image on there. I'm on a really small screen right here. We'll go in the tabs interaction and let's say add an extra tab, right? I'm just making the worst suggestions here. And then 3-column layout, replace image, right? That's always an easy replace image. Okay. Oh, I'm on the same slide. So notice down here, I just updated the image, right? And so I can see that I got that feedback really quick. I can click here to see the screenshot. Oh, it didn't show it? Is it because I'm in... It might be because I'm in the beta app. So let me come back out of here. But the screenshot should be here. Maybe it hasn't loaded yet, but that can show me where that picture is. And if I wanted to add that text right here to the lesson. Notice as I hover over, let me add just a little bit more right here. I'm going to do this. Okay, so there's a much larger text block. I'm going to minimize my triggers. And one thing that's going to be helpful here with the comments, I almost always pop this open into a new window. I found like it's just that much easier to look at here. But I want to show this real quick. Notice as I hover over the text, I get this little arrow off to the side. And what that's letting me do is I can actually add the text directly to the screen. So if I click that arrow, it's going to pop open and add a text box directly to my slide, and that text is now in there. This is going to be super helpful when your customers or whoever's reviewing your course is providing some additional comments or feedbacks, or maybe they want you to update it with feedback in a scenario or a quiz. That's a lot easier to have them just type it out, right? Sometimes than you trying to guess at how to rewrite it and submit that writing for review. If they want to add the text directly into the comments, those comments can be added right there to the slide. Okay, so here's the image. Looks like it's working now. Maybe just took a moment to get up there. But also, just like with the text, if I wanted to replace that, oh, that's just text right there. If I had attached an image, then I could also add that screenshot of that image directly to my slide. Now, one thing you'll know, you'll probably have to come in here and then select the text and then make sure that it is tied to the body text. It is currently not, and I'm not sure why it's having a, may have just have to toggle between the two. Oh, I might not have that particular font. There might be a conflict here because Open Sans regular, I think there's a conflict with my text because I can see that right here. Let's just try this. I'm going to, just to make sure that we can see that this is working. Let's say Montserrat Ledo, and then, yeah, there we go. So it looks like my Open Sans might need to be updated. There might be two versions of it, but notice now it's part of the body text. And so if I make any changes to the course theme fonts, that's going to get updated too as well. So you want to make sure you align that text that's inserted with the current text of the project. But again, popping this panel open is going to make it a lot easier to view the comments. And just like with Rise, you can resolve the comments. You get rid of those. I can show resolve comments, bring that open, and you can manage those all within the slide by slide of your project. If I were jumping into a review, I could see where all of the feedback is. If we go back to story view and maybe pop that open. So now I can see all of the comments and feedback here for that's been provided. Just like with review, and this is again probably one of the, I find this to be the most helpful. Notice how I have the highlight here for each of the scenes or the slides. If I click that, there we go, I'm automatically taken to where that feedback is. It's almost now, I'm going to say it, it's almost easier to manage the review comments within the app than it is in review. Probably not true, but having that ability to jump to that particular slide where the comments are, that's incredible. So it makes it a lot much easier to get in here and then view where those are. Obviously, you always have the screenshot so you can see where that slide or interaction is for the feedback that's being requested. But again, you're in story view, you've got all of your feedback, your comments in here, and anywhere you click, you're automatically taken to that particular slide, so you can quickly make those updates. Again, right, review streamlined the process years ago. Now I think we're just going to make the review process that much quicker from within Storyline itself. All right, so there's the two new updates. Remember, the cloud backup you don't have access to today, but you will have access to that tomorrow. That's dropping. So when you publish your projects, when you hit publish, you'll see this new little update here, and be able to give some feedback on that as well. But backing up your files, I think that is just a fantastic way to, once again, just protect your files, make sure there's always a available file in case you the worst case scenario happens and you lose the file. Okay, so let's pop back into review and take a look at a few things that are new here. So we looked at some of this, right? We looked at some of the integrated comments, but let's look at team folders in review. Now you have access to the team folders. This has been in beta for a couple months now, but the way this works is you can now add folders for your team and share projects quickly and allow collaboration on those projects without having to share individual files. So let's do this. I'm going to jump into my team folder down here, and I'm just in a demo account right here. But in here, I've got a file. And if I look at this, it's just a conference project that I'm working on. But because it's in the team folder, if I pop this open and look at the folder share settings, everyone that's part of this team can then quickly make any changes, review the comments, and I don't have to share the file out individually. It's all automatically available. So let me show you what this looks like. So if I pop open a different account here, let's see, just go back to review and personal. I don't have in this second account, I don't have any content published. But if I look inside of the Teams account, I have a file here, and then I've got two folders, Articulate User Event and Workshops. If I drill down to any of these folders, here's that same project where I can then begin making any comments, editing this file, duplicating it. You can see all the options right down here, right? Renaming the file, duplicate. And of course, once I pop this open, it's automatically available to me within Review. I didn't have to share this or have a copy of this sent to me. Because it's in a team folder, it's granted me the permissions to work on that file. Then if I had anyone else on the team I wanted to add, I can also do that as well from adding the names in the emails. So this is going to make collaboration just that much easier because you can move your projects to these shared folders. So let's look at how we can work with those real quick. So I have this project right here. If I want to move this to a team folder, I can do a couple things. First, I'll just do a one by one. So I'll just select the ellipse right here. I'm going to move this, and then I'm going to either move it to a personal folder or bring it down here to one of the two folders in my Teams. And so by bringing that into the Teams folder, that project is now going to be available to everyone on my team. I click Move. And then we also can, so we are in Workshops. I'm going to go back to Personal. And we can also move multiple projects at the same time. So I can click the selected little checkbox up here in the top left corner when I have the project selected. Then come up here to the top, and then we have the option to then move those projects to a different folder, team folder as well for review. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't need to move those in there. Let's just move them into Workshops, and then we can always move them out. So if I'm in Workshops, and here are all the files. If I want to see the permissions for this, I can choose the ellipse, and maybe I don't want the entire team to have access to it, so I could remove the everyone group from there, and let's just give this to Ellie. I'm going to add it here, and I can also change, delete that if I needed to do that as well, but I'll just keep it set to editor, click save. And now if I look in here, the two people who have access to these projects would then be me and, in this case, Ellie. Cool, right? So that's how I can move those. If I delete the folder, right? So if I delete a shared folder, then all of the projects in here will be deleted, and only the owner of a folder can delete them. So I don't have to worry about any other person on my team, accidentally or intentionally, hopefully not intentionally, accidentally deleting all of my content by deleting the folder or deleting the projects. I'm still the owner of these projects. I've just invited or granted access to other team members to come in and collaborate with those. Okay. And of course, just like with regular folders, if you delete these, they'll be added to the deleted items, and you can restore them from there if you need to get them back. All right. So with that, there are team folders, and let's look at the request for review option. I'm going to go back up here to personal. We also have the option to send out our projects for review, which we've been able to do for a long time, but now we can specifically request feedback from one or more users. And you can see over here in the top right, I've requested, this is a little bit older project, but I requested review. Let's delete these, remove these, and we can start this from scratch here. Cancel request. Okay, so you've seen this, right? The review request button right here. When I click this, I can now assign reviewers, add a custom note or message to them, and also give them specific deadline or due date for when this project's going to be available. So let's just say Ginger at Articulate. And I can say, please review for, and then maybe I make a list really quickly, right? Style, tone, and design, right? And then we'll set a due date, and we'll give a very short deadline here. We'll say on Friday, the 6th, and we'll say send request. Okay, so that email has been sent. When Ginger opens the email and reviews it, I'll see a acknowledgement here. I'll see a updated tag that indicates that she's seen the request. Now, that doesn't mean she's completed it, but it just means that she's viewed the item. So you'd see that item change right there. Once she makes any comments or completes the feedback, then I'd also see that status changed right there. And I can continue adding additional reviewers by just clicking that little ellipse right there. This feature has been a big help both internally as well as some of the comments I've seen from other users. Just having a deadline and having those notifications really seems to nudge people a little bit to get them to respond to your requests for review and feedback in your projects. Okay, the other item we looked at, and that is the integrated comments. Remember, when you're working in either Storyline or Rise, we'll look at Storyline real quick. In order to make the comments, you'll have to first publish your project to review. So it's just publish, and we need to get that project into review. Once it's published at least once into review, you don't need to publish a new version. Once it's published once, then the integrated comments will appear in Storyline, and then those comments are obviously the being housed or hosted with Review 360's comments. You're just bringing those into Storyline, and then the same for working with Rise. Whenever you publish your first Rise course to Review 360, once you've added that to 360 to review those comments, you'll see the little integrated comments icon right up here. I don't believe I have any comments yet for this one. So those are the two ways that you get those comments in. You can work within the course if you have access, if it's your course or you've granted collaboration rights to the course, or you can put the feedback in working directly from Review, whichever method either you prefer or however you've granted those access and permission levels to your collaborators in Review. Okay, so let's switch gears and now take a look at Reach 360 and some recent feature and updates that we've pushed out for Reach 360. So I need to switch gears one more time here into a different account. Okay, so the first is we're going to show you how you can now directly link to training. So, for example, there's might be times, right? You mean the library, if you're in the learner. Now I'm just in a practice or training Reach account, but courses that are in the learning obviously are the fastest way to access any courses that you've enrolled for, that you've signed up for, that you've browsed, right? You browse the library for. However, there might be times when you need to really just send out a link to learners and get them to focus and take a specific piece of training. So you could have a company portal, something like a SharePoint or an intranet site that you want to have links to specific training that learners need to take. This is a fast way to get the course added to their library. So here's how the direct sharing works. So first we want to do is just go over to our Manage tab. And we need to find our courses. So click Courses. And any courses that you have here that have the sharing turned on, you can automatically share out a direct link. So how do you know that? Well, click a course. And then over here in the right, we want to look for the direct link sharing. And so this has been enabled right here. It may be turned off for the current courses, but you need to just turn it on. And then once you've turned that on, you have the option right here to share that course. So you'll get two options really. You have a direct link. You could copy this link, and then once this link is copied, you can send it out in an email, maybe a forum email. You can drop it in Slack. You could post it on the intranet site, like SharePoint, and get that link, then post it out. And anyone who clicks that link will automatically be able to register for that course. And you can also download an image of a QR code so folks can just use their mobile device to quickly access the course. So you copy the link, you paste it into an email, and then learners can then quickly copy that. Let me pull open a quick second browser here to show you this. Okay, and I'm just going to drop the link in here. And what depending on whether or not the learner is logged in, welcome to the training team. You can enter your name and begin the registration process if you're not already on the team. And of course, if you have an account, you just sign in. And then that, of course, is going to be quickly added directly to your library. Now, what about content or courses that are in a different library, or maybe the visibility is turned off? Let's see if that's what this is right here. Direct link is turned off. Our visibility will turn off our visibility. And so at this point, it's not found directly. So we want to go to the browse library and then select the course, right? So I already have the course right here loaded, which means because the visibility is off, I wouldn't find this in the library. But guess what? See up here in the URL field, just copy that link, just right click, choose copy, and that link is all you need. And then you can drop that link the same way you did into a SharePoint. You could drop it in an email and the learners will automatically get access to that or be able to register or sign in for it. So let's just try this again. Google, drop that link in there. And once again, sign in to training. A little bit different screen here, but it's asking me to sign in with my current email. So in this case, I'm not being asked to register. It's telling me go ahead and sign in either with Google or with my email, and that course will then be added to my library. So 2 quick ways, well, maybe 2.5, 3. You have the QR code in the other example, right? Let me turn that visibility back on, and I'll come back over here. Right, so you have, when you're sharing the course here, you could do the link directly, or you can download the QR code. So there's 2 ways for the direct sharing, and then again for the direct link, if that course is not in the default library, or if it is not visible in the library, or the direct sharing is turned off, just grab the URL field, and that'll absolutely work for you. There we go. Right, just copy that and then post that or share that either through Slack, a web, email, SharePoint, anything that you're using to communicate with your learners. Okay, so one more new feature that recently dropped, and that is the ability to connect Slack with Reach 360. So Slack, we use Slack here at Articulate. Slack's used by thousands of companies to connect people with helping them get more done. Now, what you can do with Slack is, what you can do with Slack when you connect it is you can actually send messages to learners. You can display a rich thumbnail along with the link of any courses that you drop links in to. You can also get notifications for things like courses when they're past due or if they're due, and then successful logins from Reach to Slack. So let me show you just where you'd set this up, and your Slack team or administrator can help with this. But the way it works is you just want to go over to your profile. So over here in the top right corner, we have profile. Just click profile. And you'll be asked to log into your Slack account. So down below, you'll see Slack. Click that real quick. Right, and so Reach is asking to access Articulate Workspace. I'm not going to connect this, right? Because it's already connected with a different account, but essentially you're seeing what permissions and what actions Slack and Reach can each take. You click allow, and then you'll log into Slack if you're not already logged in, and that's now integrated. So the big part here is that when you paste, say, a Reach 360, a course from Reach 360, or a learning path link into Slack, and there'll be the option to click a yes confirmation button, yes button. It'll display a rich preview of that content. And that content includes the course name, a cover image, publishing date, all the info about the course. That's really cool. And then it works for any content that's visible to you or in your course library. Obviously, hidden courses aren't going to, they're not going to display for courses that are not visible in the library. But it's nice to have that access, especially the reminders. I know Slack reminders keep me on track for quite a few things. So the Slack is now available if you are working with Slack on your team. I'm just going to click cancel, and I'll probably have to go back once or twice here. Yep, you can also grab the app from Slack. I'll just come back to manage right here. All right, last, let's take a look at some recent product content updates, some recent releases here. So just a second. So let's first jump back into Storyline and look at 2 new modern illustrated characters that were released. It doesn't matter where we are in Storyline. If we go to Insert, I guess we need to be on a slide. So let's go into a slide, insert tab, and then under characters, you have two options, two new ones here for Modern Illustrated. And depending on where your filtering is here, you just look Modern Illustrated and you'll see Dawn and Shanae. And if you can't access them yet, you just need to click the download. So if you see this little icon right next to a character, that little blue circle with the arrow pointing down, that just means that you haven't yet downloaded the character. So just click download and you'll get the download. But you can see the different poses and expressions for each of the characters. Love these Modern Illustrated characters. They are probably the most popular characters I think that we see right now. But you have the different poses, and of course you can always go left or right for the poses and the perspective. But two new characters added, so we're continuing to update our content library here. Now let's also look at for some of the new templates that are available in Rise, both content templates and real content. Come back in here and we will just jump into, I have so many browsers open. Maybe this is, let's see here. It logged me out because I've been going back and forth. So let me just pull open a browser from my Mac side. So one moment. Okay, there we go. So the updates we have are updates. We updated some of our Rise, the top Rise placeholder templates. And you can always find these by just creating a new course. And we'll say course. And the easiest way to find that for the templates, the placeholder templates, would be just to kind of narrow down the filter here under all types and just choose course templates. And then you can scroll down and you can see the updates down here. So you can see any updates that we've featured. It's under the recently added. Again, constantly updating these, constantly adding new templates. So go and check those out. Hope you enjoy them. All right, with that, let me just pop open the resource page here real quick. We're kind of running at the end here. Actually, been very helpful having working in parallels today to have the Windows side with the browsers, and then also on the Mac side for them. But just want to call attention to the beta program and how we are rolling out features ahead without having to, we're trying to include you more in those early product releases. So you'll see those beta features like the integrated comments, the request for feedback, team folders, and you can always give us feedback on those. This post is linked here from the resource page down below. I should find it down here in the back, but you can learn more about what we're trying to do, how we're trying to give you earlier access to the features so that you can play around with them, give us your feedback. It really helps us develop features and products that you want, and hopefully give us the feedback to make these even better by the time they're ready for prime time. So some information about how that beta program works on the resource page, which you will get tomorrow with the link to today's recording. So a lot of new features over the past 2 months. Hope you are enjoying the ones that you've seen. And I also made a mistake that that cloud backup is available today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. So Articulate Storyline, if you update your app, you'll have access to that today. And then tomorrow is the team folders for Rise. Thanks so much to my moderators. Appreciate your help. I saw that it was a very active session. Again, we'll get the resource page and recording out to you tomorrow. Thank you all so much for spending the last almost hour with me and all of us today. Hope you enjoyed the features. And again, any questions that we couldn't get to, please just jump into eLearning Heroes, post in the forums. You can even put attention Dave if you want, or just post in general, and we'll be more than happy to get those answered for you. We want you to be successful with our Articulate 360 apps. Thanks so much, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.